as a symbol, they say, for those 12,000 they say can't vote. They plan on using the money to get more people registered to vote. Stephanie?
All right, thank you, Craig. Let's turn to weather now. It was quiet for a change tonight. No storm, so we look ahead to the weekend. Dave Friedman's here now with our first forecast. How's it looking, Dave?
Well, it was beautiful today, and nice to not have to show you the radar, but I bet by this time tomorrow night, I probably will need to show you that radar. But most of tomorrow, I think, ends up being a really nice day and just a little bit hotter. 75, kind of sticky to start tomorrow morning, up to 90 in Wichita by lunchtime. And I think we are going to be a good bit hotter tomorrow. I'll say 97 in Wichita. And again, the humidity will make it feel a little bit worse over in this part of Kansas. Now, tomorrow, late day on into tomorrow night, some parts of Kansas could be getting showers and storms, and we might have to deal with a few of those over the weekend. I'll be back with more in a couple of minutes.
All right, thanks, Dave. We'll see you then. The latest numbers on gang violence here in Wichita show an increase in criminal activity. KSN's Felix Rodriguez Lima spoke with law enforcement about it and has the latest.
And they count on silence. They count on fear. They count on people not wanting to get involved out of fear of retribution, and the silence is what allows this behavior to continue.
Behavior that's increasing in Wichita. Gang-related drive-by shootings have doubled from last year, with 10 so far in 2013 compared to 5 at this time in 2012. Aggravated assaults are also up from 18 last year to 29 this year. But gang-related homicides are down from 7 in 2012 to 5 this year. Police say that includes Sunday morning's shooting that left 1 dead and 4 injured.
That's a case that's very solvable, and we have worked a great number of hours in getting it solved. But the fact of the matter is there were over 100 people out there in that parking lot, and very few people have stepped forward to say that they witnessed that actual shooting.
With more than 4,000 active gang members and roughly between 40 and 50 gangs in Wichita, it's a challenge keeping track.
In the last few years, we're seeing a lot less organization. There's not one area of town that's controlled by Gang A, as opposed to you cross the street and you know you're now in someone else's territory. It's far more provincial. It's far less organized. And there's some disadvantage to law enforcement for that.
The police department fights gang activity through enforcement, intervention with at-risk youth, and educating the public on what they can do to help out law enforcement.
There's nothing more great of a deterrent for a gang member than an active parent. To be involved, to be in their kids' room, check out what they're doing.
One key to curbing gang violence is the public being able to provide tips through Crime Stoppers. Officials hope residents who are afraid of gang retaliation will use that so that they can remain anonymous. In studio, Felix Rodriguez Lima, KSN News.
Thanks, Felix. Police now believe they know what happened to a gang member who showed up at the hospital yesterday with critical injuries. He was stabbed while in an apartment in the 2600 block of South Topeka. Police say 5 people, including a toddler, were there when an argument broke out. Someone fired a gun and the 21-year-old victim was stabbed in the upper torso. Someone drove him to the hospital where he's now in serious condition. Police are looking for the vehicle that dropped him off. It's a 2007 Chevy Trailblazer, silver and black in color, with a Kansas tag 953EUR. If you have any information, call police. The district attorney is now deciding whether a Wichita mother should face criminal charges for leaving her kids home alone before a fatal fire broke out. A 6-year-old girl died from burns suffered in the house fire in the 3900 block of East Countryside last Thursday night. 2 other girls who escaped the fire with minor injuries were put into protective custody that night. Now the exploited and missing child unit has also taken a 1-year-old boy from the mother. If the DA decides to charge the mother, she could be in court as early as tomorrow. A car crash today started with an argument between 4 women on North Estelle. Police say one of the women drove off and dragged another behind her. They also say she crashed into a nearby house and fled the scene. The woman was later stopped at 21st and Grove and arrested for aggravated battery and hit and run. Damage to the house was so severe, it will now be condemned. Most of us don't give much thought to the possibility of a nuclear attack, but there was a time in this country when that was a major concern. And that's the subject of a current exhibit at the Wichita Sedgwick County Historical Museum. John Snyder takes a look in tonight's KSN News Extra.
In 1945, U.S. atomic bombs ended the Second World War. But for many years, as the Soviet Union got the bomb, the U.S. lived in some fear.
Americans were told that you had to be alert for the real probability that there would be an atomic war, really at any moment.
Dr. Michael Scheibach is behind this exhibit.